Hello friends, good morning. Welcome to my channel Essentials of Management. Friends, as you know, motto of this channel is to evolve high standards of education and training of the subject management science in general and that of environment, health and safety management in particular. So today we are going to continue with the series of environment management. We will have discourse 3. We are at present discussing basic concepts and terminologies in environment management. We are going to have part 3 today. Here we will discuss about ecology and biosphere. So what is ecology and ecosystem? So ecology is a branch of biology. It is a study of relationships of organisms to their physical environment and to one another. So again, in the last discourse we discussed about environment and its importance and the different spheres in the environment. So there also we discussed about the relationship, interrelationship between land, water and air. So we'll try to understand it is all about the interrelationships. So here it is also a study of relationships of organisms, so living beings, to their physical environment. Physical environment is, that is land, water and air and whatever the geography is around. So it is their relationship with physical environment and of course with one another. So try to understand that all the organisms are interdependent and they also have the relationship. So the way we have relationship with the pet animals or cattle, or in jungle tiger has a relationship with deer, isn't it? So they are interrelated. So all organisms are interrelated, have relationship with their physical environment as well as one another. Now what is ecosystem? It consists of all organisms living in a particular area. So there are delimitations of the area due to different factors. So there is a particular area and there are different organisms, n number of organisms living in that area. There are non-living things in that area. There are physical components of the environment of that area, and the organism which is living in that particular area again interacts with the non-living, with the physical component and with the other organisms. So the physical components of the environment such as the air, soil, water and the sunlight. So ecosystems are the part of the ecology, right? So an ecosystem may be as small as a tidal pool or a rotting log or as large as an ocean or a continent spanning forest. Just for example, if there are rains, a small pool is formed in some ditch, okay, immediately you will find there is an activity of the bacteria, small organisms which try to develop their world in that small ditch, right? So you will find there algae, you will find there the tadpoles, living in that small pool till it dries, right? Same is the case with the sea tides. So some pools are formed with the help of the sea tides. So there is some rotting log. So in that log also you will find there are n number of organism, bacteria living in that rotting log. So that rotting log itself becomes an ecosystem. That small pool itself become an ecosystem. So smallest ecosystem to a very large ecosystem like ocean or big forest, continent spanning forest. Each ecosystem consists of a community of plants and animals in an environment that supplies them with raw materials for life. So there are community of plants, there are community of animals which reside in ecosystem, and there is an environment of that ecosystem which supplies them with the raw material of their life, their food, and the chemical elements and the water. The ecosystem is delimited by the climate, altitude, water and soil characteristics and other physical conditions of the environment. So ecosystems, as we saw, from small pool to a large ocean or to a large forest, but there are a variety of ecosystems which exist. So as we said, that ocean or the jungle. Now there are different types of forests. There are coniferous forest, there are foliage tree forest, there are rain forest, then there are different rivers, there are different lakes. Now they are formed because of the different climate of that area, the altitude of that area, the water and soil characteristics of that area and other physical conditions which exist in that particular environment. So there are sort of boundaries of the ecosystems. So ecosystem is, all the ecosystems are having their own boundaries, right? So there is no single ecosystem in this world. There are n number of hundreds and thousands of different ecosystems which are there in the world. So you can see the photograph of these coral reefs, which are an example of the marine ecosystem. Now ecology is the sum total of the different ecosystems. Now we will try to understand biosphere and biodiversity. What is biosphere? We have seen when we discussed the 4 spheres, when we discussed environment. It is the biological component of earth systems, which also include the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. So there are 4 spheres. Out of that, whatever the biological component is the biosphere. Lithosphere is the soil and the mantle of the earth. Hydrosphere is about water. Atmosphere is about the air which engulfs the earth. So biosphere, it is the global sum of all ecosystems, because in every ecosystem there are organisms. So when we say biosphere, it is the sum total of all the ecosystems which are existing in this world. It includes all living organisms on earth together with the dead organic matter produced by them. So it is a sum total of all living organisms on the earth. So it is called as biosphere. Now what is biodiversity? It is the variation of life forms within a given ecosystem or on the entire earth. So we know there are plantation, there are animals. So there is animal world, there is a plant world, right? Now in that you have the species from single cell to the complex animal like human being. So if you just try to count the different species of the animal world, there are millions of bacteria, there are millions of the different small creatures, or there are tigers, lions, and deers. Now in deer there are n variety of different deers, right? Even the cat family is very big. Different cats are there, including lion and tiger. So there is a tremendous variety. Within a species itself there will be a variety. So that is called as the biodiversity. So biodiversity is often used as a measure of the health of the biological system. That means if the biodiversity is more, the health of the biological system is good. The biodiversity found on Earth today consists of many millions of distinct biological species. I just discussed about these different species, and there are in one family there are different species. So biodiversity is not distributed evenly on the Earth, very important, but it is consistently rich in the tropical regions, the hot region and semi-hot regions, because there are physical conditions and environmental conditions for the organisms to develop. And it is less rich in polar regions, because polar region there is ice, the conditions are very cold, the temperature is below 0 degree or near 0 degree, and because of that the organisms do not can't survive there in that atmosphere. So there are very few species which are found in the region. There are species found in these regions. You find polar bears, right? You find penguins there in the polar region. So there are species in the polar region even, but they are very scarce, very fewer species are found there. But in tropical region, where the conditions are semi-hot, right, which conditions are conducive for the development of the different organisms, so there the biodiversity is more. So this is again a photograph of a rainforest, which often have a great deal of biodiversity with many plants and animal species living, coexisting in that ecosystem. So friends, this is all about the ecology, ecosystems and biospheres and biodiversity. Thank you for watching this video. Please resume your viewing by switching on to discourse 4, where we will start discussing about various nature's cycle. So friends, once again thank you very much. Please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.